What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Common Grounds podcast. I'm here with Thomas Vanoppen. Thomas is one of my good friends. He's actually a grad student at Wake, and he's from Belgium. So, Thomas, why don't you introduce yourself? And thank you so much for coming on to the show. I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, well, hi guys. My name is Thomas. I'm a fairly new grad student here at Wake. I came last August, and recently I've been really enjoying my time here. It looks like a great university.
Proud graduate of Leuven University.
Yeah, the Catholic University of Leuven, near Brussels, Belgium. So that's where I did undergrad in business management. And
they don't do mascots there, do they?
Not really. Not really.
My professor's from Italy. She's going to laugh at that one.
Oh, no. Yeah, well, no mascots. It's a very old university founded in 1425. So it's very pretty old-fashioned, and they like their reputation, let's say.
Mm-hmm. And which part of Belgium are you from?
So I'm from the north part, the Dutch-speaking part. In the south, they mainly speak French, but I'm raised and educated in Dutch.
Nice. And you speak a lot of languages. How many exactly?
Like let's say mainly fluently, like 4. So my first language is Dutch. Then I'd say my second language by studying in the US is definitely English, and then French, because it's mandatory for us Belgians to be like at least pretty good at French.
Yeah.
And then German as a fourth one.
Yeah, that's absolutely mind-boggling to an American. I think if you told that to a kid, his head would explode. We can barely learn Spanish over here.
Yeah, I have always have a feeling like English natives and even French natives are like so convinced that their language is superior to others that they don't want to learn another one.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, I just rolled into a lot of them. I studied languages in high school and just went more in depth about it and came to study in America. So that's how it happened.
Do people ever think you're from America? Has that ever happened or no?
Honestly, when I was on the plane home, I was wearing a mask and a cap. And I was pretty tired, and I heard some girls in front of me talk, and I asked something about like the lines before getting on the plane, and they were like, "Oh, damn, we really thought you were American," because I was wearing an American hat with like the American flag on it.
Because you don't wear anything like crazy. Like for instance, our buddy Aaron will wear some pretty crazy clothes that were like, I don't know where they wear those.
No, I think I'm a very
pretty normal,
normal,
according to us at least.
Yeah, very. I mean, at home they'd say I'm pretty stereotypical Belgian, just like nothing crazy, nothing too alternative or extraordinary clothing wise.
So Belgium, talking about citizenship, you were telling me earlier because I've had the great fortune to know you for about a year now. Because you live with one of my best friends there in Los Harris, who's also been on the show. You were telling me how the government of Belgium, there's like 3 governments at the same time. What was that about? And how was that being a citizen there? What the hell was happening?
So, I mean, basically, it's safe to say that Belgium has like one of the most complicated political systems worldwide. It basically comes down to 3 language parts. So the Dutch, the French, and the German part, which all 3 have their own government, like their like local government, and then above that we have the federal government.
Yeah.
So we basically have like a lot of elections and stuff. It's a complicated system to explain to foreigners, but I mean, it's even as a native, like a national, a Belgian one, it's pretty hard to understand, and I just vote whenever we have to go and vote. So
yeah. Can everyone? What's the voting age there? How's that work?
18. Yeah. So at the age of 18, you are you have a mandatory vote. So they'll fine you if you don't go and vote. So
is there anything? Oh, they'll fine.
They'll fine you. Yeah.
Fine or fine?
Fine. Like you have to pay like a ridiculous amount of money if you don't have a letter or like proof that you can't go and vote.
Dude.
So for example, when elections happen, I think
we need that here, to be honest. Like. What
I mean, my opinion, that's pretty good to go and vote. Like everyone who's a citizen should go and vote. I think it will be an incentive for people to get more educated and like follow politics.
Yeah, but even if you didn't want to vote for something, you could always just write down, "Oh, I want to vote for Batman."
Yeah, I mean, you can show up to the elections and just vote white. Like, just go for a blanco vote.
Yeah, well, that's important. Like putting the citizenry through the civic process. Like, I think that's something. Like, I remember one year my dad didn't vote. He's like, I got to work. I'm like, but it's important. He's like, my vote doesn't make a difference statistically. And I was like, yeah, you mean you might be right statistically, but like at least just go. Like I always
Yeah.
think it's fun. Like before
Yeah.
this COVID stuff last year where we were mailing in, I was looking forward to the first day I could just show up and just like engage in the process, like feel something, even if it's not gonna make a difference. It's just cool. Like I don't know, but I'm a weirdo like that. So
No, I mean, I kind of like the vibe because, like, usually it's on a Sunday at our place and it's all over the news all day. People be following the statistics. I like the numbers behind it,
Yeah.
and you see a lot of.
it's like a sporting event.
It's like a sports event almost with like the bar charts and stuff, like
Yeah.
different colors, the political spectrum. I like it, and you have a lot of fuss going on at the voting center, and like
How many parties you got? Like big parties?
the
I know.
big ones we have about 5 to 6, I think. Yeah, the really big ones. Yeah,
Jeez.
5 to 6. So
That's
it's a
kinda
very
like-
broad spectrum.
On par for like a European country now. It
Yeah.
seems like European countries have multiple parties. It's not a two-party state. Like a lot of parties.
No, not
A
at
lot of
all.
parties.
Basically, like if you see like on both the right and the left side of the political spectrum, we have at least 2 to 3 options to vote for. Just like 6 different places in the whole spectrum, and it's just up to you to vote. But it usually comes down to 2 or 3 big
Two or three
parties.
big parties.
And the other one just barely making like the amount of votes they need to be able to like a big party. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. The other thing that's super, super fascinating to me is the EU. And the EU's in your backyard, basically. I mean, I don't know how far you are from The Hague, it's in, right? Or is it
Sorry?
Brussels? The EU, is the EU in Brussels? Or is it
I mean, the
Hague?
EU is basically the whole European
No,
Union.
the headquarters.
Oh, the headquarters?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
like that's
No, I know,
basically
so,
like
yeah.
30 minutes out from my place. I live
Yeah.
like 35 minutes from Brussels away.
Is it like, what's it like? 'Cause
I've been in the European Parliament.
Is there like a big buzz around it? Like in America, like the White House, everything's
No.
crazy? Or is it just
There's
like
nothing
that's-
going on.
There's nothing.
It's dead
on it?
empty. Because
That's
they
weird.
don't like they don't stay there. They just
Oh, okay.
come together. It's like the gather place because it's Belgium is pretty central in the European Union.
Yeah, it's a great location.
Yeah, it is a great location.
Weather might not be
Transportation.
great,
the weather is awful. But, well, politically, we are pretty much in the centrum of things that are going on, and they just gather every now and then. I don't even know like when, but the last time they came together was like on the recent Ukraine situation.
Yeah.
They gathered in Brussels, so in the
yeah.
headquarters there.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Have you had the chance, being kind of in that centrally located country in Europe and also being an athlete? I don't know if we've mentioned that. I don't think we have that you're a runner, a member of the track team, which is amazing. And currently sitting number 1 in the 1500. But
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
No, they broke it in California in some great conditions, but
you'll get it back. Still a stupid fast runner. Probably, yeah, crazy. Anyways, I digress. We could go off on a huge tangent, but I guess citizenship relates because the Olympics has people from every country, so that'd be cool.
Yeah.
When I see you run there and Aaron run there one day.
yeah, that's a beautiful
So-
part. I think being from a different country than like some of your friends, you hopefully get to see them at the
Yeah.
Olympics if we end up both making it, which would be awesome.
But what I wanted to talk to you about was being in that centrally located country in Europe, great location, being in the EU, having an EU passport. Have you been able to travel around Europe and experience other cultures, and how has that kind of shaped you? I know you said you went on vacation, or as you guys call it, on holiday to Spain. Had a good time at the Magaluf hotels or whatever. But have you been to other places in Europe? I know you said the borders are really close to your house. So, like, talk to me about that and maybe, like, where you've been and just
Yeah.
the vibe.
So, I mean, from my perspective, it's basically when I go to Germany or France or the Netherlands, which is like within less than 2 hours of a car drive from my home. It's even more common to cross borders for me than to cross states within the U.S. for Americans. I get a lot of the same culture vibes.
Oh, okay.
Because we're so close, we're so the same. There's not a lot of differences between us, I'd say. Like, people are sometimes a little bit different of a mindset, or like, I mean, you speak different language, but if you can integrate well by speaking their language, you'll be completely fine. Just whenever you like maybe go up like straight north, like Scandinavia. I haven't been able to go to Scandinavia yet.
It's kind of hard to get to.
Yeah, it's harder to
I know
get.
there's like that one bridge from Denmark to Sweden, but like that's just kind of unrealistic to like just drive through all those countries like that. I don't know.
No, yeah, I mean, you'd have to fly, but still, I haven't been able to visit it. But like, I mean, been to London.
Yeah.
Been to Paris a lot. Amsterdam, just Berlin, like all these big European cities.
Do
very
they feel
known.
the same, or do they feel like, do they have a part that feels the same like any city, and then there's the character there? Like,
Yeah, no.
maybe not. Oh, Berlin, you said, yeah. Maybe not. Frankfurt would be an example of a city that definitely is.
It's also a
way too modern
smaller city
after what happened in the war.
But yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
No, like each city stands for its own thing. Like, of course, Paris, everybody knows the Eiffel Tower or the Berlin Wall, or I mean, the London Eye. You know, these very touristic things. But
how far east have you been? Like,
I've been to Slovenia for its
That's pretty
nature
far,
because they have like Great Lakes.
Ljubljana, they got that like famous castle too out there.
I haven't been to Ljubljana yet. I've been to a place called Bled.
Yeah.
Which is like
they got a lake there,
a really big lake.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go to a festival in Hungary.
Oh, what's it
called again? I can't like. My brother always talks about it. He's like,
is it like
all over
EDM
it.
or something?
Balaton.
Oh,
Balaton Festival around a lake. It's like it's assumably the biggest, craziest festival in Europe, and it's cheap as hell, and you know, like
I gotta get out there.
a lot of things that happen there, and great music. So
I haven't been out there between college football, having to be here all the time, and COVID. I ain't been there in a minute, bro.
No, I mean, if you get the opportunity, definitely go back to Europe
I gotta
again.
go back, yeah. But one of the things I was gonna say before we kind of talk about your transition to the U.S., we'll get to that next. But what's it like? I know you kind of talked about the EU, but what do you see like as a benefit or like a con, I guess, of being in that? Like, because I know that you can go to other countries and work.
Yeah.
Is that something that appeals to you, or do you think that's not a good thing?
Yeah, most
like,
definitely. Most definitely to me. Like, I think it's always been part of my ambition to, like, not completely immigrate, but see different parts of Europe. And now with the opportunity of studying in the U.S., a little bit the U.S. as well. But, like, I think working and living in another country, although it's very easy for us to go and visit it, is still a different kind of vibe than just, you know, have their regular life, stereotypical life of working in Belgium and maybe in Brussels or whatever. So I think it should be really good. And that's definitely a benefit that we have as European citizens, that we can travel across whole Europe and
that is sick.
Work wherever and stay wherever without any document problems or issues.
That is pretty sweet. I wish that the Americas were connected like that, like all the way from Canada down to Argentina, Chile, like that kind of.
Yeah.
Like we could be connected a little more, but it's too new, I think, to be honest. Like obviously, like indigenous cultures have been there for a very, very long time, but like these relatively new countries, let's say, like that happened post-colonialism, I think it's just too hard. Like we're still relatively young. Like a lot of those countries to the south of us got independence 1800s, 1900s, and like
I think
like everything in Europe's already been made.
What I see like is what you just say, all these countries, they are in such different economic phases of their development, while most European countries are very wealthy and like
one day we'll get
super aligned with each other.
Like it'd be sick to hop in the car and just go to Guatemala. Like you can, like don't get me wrong, you can, but not many Americans are doing it. Like
no, true.
Part of it is fear. A big part of it is fear. Like you technically can drive across the border. Like thousands of people do it every day, and then you make it to Mexico, and eventually you'll make it to Guatemala. But you know, I surely could. I live in Florida. I'd just go right through.
Yeah.
Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, down through the border, and right through Mexico down to Guatemala. But I don't think I'll ever do it. I'll fly there, but I just wish we got to that.
Yeah,
we got to that level. I don't know why. I just like seeing stuff, but
I think it needs some more development.
Yeah, and great country, by the way. All those countries, great countries.
Yeah.
Get a bad rap in the news, but great countries. I've had great times there. Affordable too. Like, I don't know what it's like for the people there. I know it's a little harder, but
I think they just earn less money than, for example, Americans or Europeans. And
I wonder what the cost of living. You got to look at the coefficient, like the Gini coefficient, I think it's called. But I know it's a little lower, but some countries like it's better. But I digress. Long story short, how does a man from Leuven, Belgium, end up on a track team at a American University in Winston-Salem, North Carolina?
make a long story short, I think I just, got recruited one day. Felt like I needed something different in my life, like a whole new adventure. I was about to graduate my undergrad, and you're like, yeah, why don't you come to Wake Forest and run track in the U.S.? I'm like, all right, let's do it. And then one day I just hopped on the plane and not knowing what to expect, and I was like, because you could take official visits when you're in the recruiting process, but COVID didn't really allow me, but there was a point later on where I'd already committed. I could still take a visit, but I just really wanted to be like a surprise. Like, all right, I want to be surprised with how it is and who they are there and just what happens, and whole new adventure, like by myself, just with my suitcase, and we'll see what happens.
How many times had you been to America before?
Never. That was my first time. Yeah.
I knew it was for Aaron, but I didn't know it was for you. For some reason, I thought you told me you'd been to New York before.
No, I always wanted to, but...
Bro, you just showed up.
Yeah. I just went by myself.
We're just pulling up like, all right, I'm here.
The difference between me and Aaron is like...
Everyone's wearing a mask.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he was 18. I was 21, so I'd say I was a little bit more mature already. Yeah. But...
Bro, that's insane.
Yeah, it's like, this little kid going on his first solo... I think it was... No. It was like my first complete solo trip. Like, without any friend or family member. I've been with my friends on vacation before without parents when I was like 17. But this was the first time I actually went by myself.
That's crazy.
To a whole new country. And I remember standing at the airport. I had 1% of battery because I didn't have an American plug-in. And I was waiting for... Coach Hayes from the track team to pick me up, and it was bloody warm. It was like 85 Fahrenheit, and I was wearing long pants and a jeans jacket because I was coming from the north. And I was like, oh my God, what if this guy doesn't show up? I just flew across the world for nothing.
Holy God.
I was low-key shitting my pants at Charlotte Airport.
Bro, I could not do that, bro.
And then just a black Wake Forest van pulled up with a bald man in there, and I was like, all right, nice to meet you.
You're like, you're the only one? You're just like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, I was the only one in a big-ass van just waiting for him, and like, all right.
Bro,
I didn't know where I was, and I mean...
Like, do you remember what you were looking at? Like, you were like, where the heck am I?
I wasn't looking at anything because I was jet-lagged as hell. It was like 3 a.m. for me in the morning, and I just spent hours on a plane, and I left my house at 6 a.m. in the morning Belgian time, which was 12 o'clock Winston-Salem, and we're already like 7 or 8 p.m. at that point, and I remember very well sitting in the van, very sleepy, and he was so excited to have me, and he showed me around the whole athletic department while I was jet lagged, and I just wanted to go to bed, but I didn't dare to say no. So
what was that like, seeing a university that had sports like that? That's kind of crazy. It's like new.
It is crazy. Like I had like seen pictures very quickly, but as I said, I wanted to be a surprise for the most part of it, and like the vibe I got was like, it's crazy here. It's like a village on its own.
Yeah,
it's
you
like
told me that.
It's a bubble.
It's like Disneyland.
It's Disneyland. I call it Disneyland. Yeah, I low-key call it Disneyland, and like
you can get anything. Like the first month I met you, you're like, bro, I just swiped my card. It's Disneyland. I got food. I got everything. I was like, bro.
It's like you have this one card, and it works everywhere. And like as an athlete, like you'd be put on scholarship, and you ever feel this is just Disneyland, like a one-way ticket to Disneyland. And
bro, I remember Aaron was like calling all of his friends at home. He's like, "You'll never believe this. You'll never believe this." I'm sure you did the same when you got here.
No, I definitely like in the first parties, like being on the phone with my friends. They were like, "Oh, is it like the American Pie movies or like and just learning about fraternities and sororities?"
Yeah, what was that like? Fraternities and sororities and
it's
stuff
just
that
shocking.
Doesn't happen. It's so weird.
It's so weird. Like
so weird.
I don't like the theory behind it right now. Like I know more about it, but it's just at the first point it's just shocking. Like there's so much going through your head, and you have like different education to like take care of right now. Like first semester was like, I mean, I did fine overall, but it was a lot of
sustainability, right?
No, liberal arts.
Liberal arts.
That's
yeah.
good. I'm liberal arts with some football players.
Nice.
I mean, it's not a hard degree. It's nice. Like,
but it's very helpful, very useful.
Yeah, it's useful. I'd say it's useful. It's just
because you studied economics, it's going to give you a wider perspective.
Yeah, right now I'm getting more wider view, let's say really a more liberal view on stuff. Like I think I'm raised conservative. I'm educated conservative. because of like econ and business management, I did.
Mm-hmm.
And right now I'm getting more like the liberal side of things, which, you know, it helps me, and I think it will help me the rest of my life. So
yeah, that's good. So what about coming to America and like Wake? Like, what are the big shocks, culture shocks, anything like that before we kind of wrap up here?
I mean, I don't like, it's just
So many
different overall. Like,
Yeah.
I can't name one single thing. It's like, again, even calling it Disneyland should explain, whoever's listening, enough that how big of a shock this must have been to us both, I guess, Aaron and me. But yeah, I mean, you guys have a lot of food. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, a lot of big people.
A lot of big people. I mean, like, even the electric wheelchairs you can take in the big supermarkets are like new. Everything's new. Like
free refills.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Like
I know.
the dining halls, it isn't like that. Like sleeping on campus for undergraduates isn't the case at our place. So
has it been
everything's
hard
different.
to find community? Like, even though I know you got the team, so that's kind of like built-in community. But say you didn't come with a team, do you think you'd be able to find community? Because community is such a big part of being a citizen. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I definitely think I'm social enough with people to get in whatever community I would want to be in, but I'm happy to be on the track and cross country team, and I like a lot of the guys there, and even on the girls side, the girls team is pretty cool, and it's more of enough social impulses for me as a person. So
yeah, man. So yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you for sitting down, chatting with me. I know you got to get to bed because you got to train tomorrow, but I really appreciate it. And if you don't have any, I'll let you have the last word for sure. But I wish you nothing but the best, bro. And it's been a pleasure to get to know you this year. And
yeah, absolutely.
I look forward to coming back to visit next year, and because I know you'll be here next year, and watching you run and all that good stuff. So anything else you want to say? If not, we're signing off.
Yeah, well, no, just thanks for listening, and it's a pleasure talking about home and like my opinion on America, let's say, and I mean, it's great. I hope you get to experience the same as I get to experience in America, but then in Europe. So
Thank you, bro. Yes, sir.
Thank
You're
you.
a good man. Signing off.